time for another toast. This time it's actually 4 o'clock. Sometimes it's a 4 o'clock toast. Yesterday was a 5:15 toast. But that's kind of the nature of the business. I am here with a special guest. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Yeah, hi, my name's Jeremy Shear. I'm the founder, owner, and head brewmaster at Bridge Brewing Company in beautiful Johnstown, Pennsylvania, in Laurel Highlands, in Western PA.
Excellent. So I'm going to get just a few of the commercial type stuff out of the way, like I always do with these sorts of toasts. So it is Friday. Patio's open. We are not doing flatbreads anymore. Friday is a special. That's a Sunday. But we've got a full crew. Ryan Fair is back, so if you want to say hi to Ryan. He is currently in between gigs and getting ready for his next great GM position somewhere, I heard, with Fox and Hound. So it's going to be Dave and Ryan tonight. And then make sure you come out to our block party tomorrow, or our parking lot party that we're having. So it'll be a really first time doing a really big event. So I'm looking forward to it. I should be here all day and look forward to experiencing some fun events. So with that, Jeremy, why don't you let's talk about a little bit what's going on at your brewery.
Yeah, so Stonebridge is fairly new on the scene. 2015 here in Johnstown, just a nice little 3-barrel brew house in the garage. Kind of the storyline of every brewery, I think, that starts up. But to figure out what we're doing and scale things up from basic brewing to making actual more people than wanted to drink. And so here we are now, 2021. We spent the last year of COVID kind of really trying to hone in on what we can do to roll through the shutdown phases and come out on the other side, not only surviving, but come out stronger than we went into it. So we've done a pretty huge investment. We've upgraded our brewing system. Now we're a 40-barrel brew house. So we're putting out a lot of beer, full canning line, kegging, the whole 9 yards. And recently, finally opened our tap room back up. That was a piece that we kind of sat on for a while. We closed down our restaurant at the start of COVID. Just feeling that it was the safest move for our customers and our staff to just kind of step away from anything in-house at all. So we just opened a brand new redesigned tap room up. Really small, 30-some seats, I think, with a little outdoor dining, and we're working on an expansion for that will hopefully be up and kicking here in the next 5 to 6 weeks or so. So we're bringing beer back to life in Johnstown, and we're pumped to be doing it here. Only brewery, unfortunately, in our town right now, and one of only 2 in our entire county. So the pickings are a little slim, but we've got some great stuff going on up all day.
Sounds a lot like what we had to go through when we opened. We were the only brewery in Lansdale, and aside from Iron Hill, I think we were one of the only breweries in the county, at least the central northern part of the county. So we had to do a lot of education to folks on beer styles and what craft beer was. I don't know if Johnstown is like that, or if it's a little bit more craft beer savvy.
Oh yeah, no. We had a restaurant here actually in 2013 before we even started the brewery up. And that was kind of our primary focus of our restaurant, was really kind of involving the craft culinary scene. So craft food, but craft beer and stuff like that. We went so cold as we could carry Anheuser-Busch, Budweiser and Bud Light, Coors Light and stuff like that. It's a noble stock, but it never works out for anybody. Ultimately, you end up selling those products, unfortunately, as a restaurant. But we really focused on our site educating the local clientele on what craft beer really was. Johnstown was certainly one of those places where craft beer was just, those weird IPAs. Everything craft beer world was an IPA, and I don't like those things. So we really spent the better part of the last 7 or 8 years cultivating and educating our customer base on what craft beer is, what the industry needs, and what the options are. What these products are that we're putting out. It's not all just IPAs. Although the last couple of years it seems like in large part That's really been one of the most fulfilling things I think for us as a brewery is being able to teach people, what craft beer means and what we can do. We do everything across the board from, the crazy double milkshake IPAs to simple pale light lager. Seltzers. I have a 3-year-old here who thinks so that's really been kind of the fun part of what we've been doing, and we've really enjoyed it, and we've seen dramatic change in Johnstown in terms of how people perceive craft beer and beer in general.
So speaking of Johnstown, all I know about Johnstown is we're still paying a tax for when you flooded, and they slap shot there. What would be things that would bring people to Johnstown and possibly to your brewery?
Yeah, so the history of Johnstown is a favorite thing. All right, she's going to join me. I promise she's a drink me. The history of Johnstown, and I'm sure anybody that grew up in Pennsylvania, it was drilled into you in elementary school. The city of floods and stuff like that. We were a great still industry kind of town for a long time. Of course, that industry collapsed, and many other people know us from Slapshot or from a few good moves. Great Tom Cruise movie that. And now what we're seeing here in Johnstown is really this vibrant kind of change towards arts and entertainment and outdoor resources. We're kind of nestled beautifully in the Laurel Highlands. We've got some great rivers, some great hiking trails, wonderful kind of mountain streets, and we've really seen a big push over the last 3 years to adjust our sites from Johnstown to the flood city kind of mentality, and look at what we have now and how we can promote that to people in the future. And so that's a big part now. For instance, this weekend we have a great event called Stone Creek Rendezvous. Stone Creek is one of our great rivers. It's got one of the longest, most intense stretches of Class 3 rapids if you're into rafting and kayaking on the entire eastern seaboard. So we have a great kind of kayak rafting event, and it's really fun because it not only highlights the mountains and the rivers and the beautiful scenery that we have nestled around this whole rusty town, but also focuses on the arts and local music and some local beer, which unfortunately right now is only me. We've got a couple of new places coming in. So that's really the future of it. It's kind of taking this great infrastructure that's here and turning it into something that kind of brings us back to the mountains that it's nestled in the middle of. We love it. We're huge supporters of everything outdoors, hiking, biking, rafting, stuff like that. Many of our beers are actually kind of co-branded in that direction. Our flagship Casey IPA is called Casey River, kind of reminiscent of the rivers that used to run in here from all the kind of old spill off coming out of the old mine seepage. They don't look that way anymore, thank goodness. DCNR has done a great job of cleaning up our rivers for us and playing. But it's kind of a throwback and homage to what these rivers have been for the last 50 years, 60 years. And a lot of the proceeds, we look to donate to benefits that really support redevelopment of our waterways and use of our mountains.
It's awesome. It sounds like there's way more to do in Johnstown than there is in Lansdale. We're known for trains. Our Lansdale Lager has a farmer, because we have a farmer's market, and a train. We're like the busiest set to stop in all of southeastern Pennsylvania in the suburbs. So it sounds like there's a lot more to do out there. I would definitely do some hiking, but only if I'm hiking to your brewery. One of the things I always tell my wife. I love to hike, but I need to end at a destination where there's beer.
We have a new hiking trail actually in development right now that literally goes right past our brewery, right through the edge of downtown. It's actually called Iron to Art Corridor. To connect the 9/11 trails that developed with one of our local trails called the Ghost Town Trail. That's about a 60-mile stretch of trails. So it's a wonderful spot, and brewery's right in the center of it.
Awesome. My partner Bill is a huge outdoorsman, so I can send him to camp, and then have him carry all the beer supplies for a collaboration. It'll be like it'll be like Survivor Man, where we drop him off in the middle of 60-mile trail, and he has to record.
I'll do one of those old school make a beer with hot water over a fire kind of routines.
Yeah. So you said you had a restaurant and you closed it. How does it feel now to not have a restaurant?
It's a little weird. I've been in and around the craft beer industry since the mid-'90s. I'm originally from Idaho. I lived in San Diego for most of the '90s, so I was there kind of at the advent of some of the great California names like Pizza Port and Stone and guys that sold stuff like that. I was there early on, and that really sucked me into that industry. And I always wanted to get into craft beer. Unfortunately, somehow I found my way becoming a chef, and so I went more on the restaurant side. Left craft beer as kind of my hobby and my late night enjoyment after I got done working. So I'd been in the restaurant industry for 20 plus years, and so we opened our restaurant here in Johnstown with kind of an aggressive focus of Johnstown being what it is. Many Pennsylvania towns are this way. It's very heavy on wings and burgers and pizza, and you don't see a lot of kind of like Pittsburgh areas. So we really wanted to focus on bringing that type of cuisine, more fusion stuff, pho and ramen bowls, unique, Southwestern style tacos and things like that. So we did that here in Johnstown. We had a lot of backlash, a lot of people what Johnstowners like. Somehow we managed to convince them that they did like it. But I've always had every restaurant kind of goes through a life cycle, and after a certain amount of time, it can still be popular, but it becomes stale. And restaurants at that point where and so when COVID hit, it kind of was for us we're just really starting to develop and put some more focus on the brewery. We were having our fourth child at that point. He was actually born right at the start of the COVID shutdown, our little COVID baby. So it worked out perfect. It was really, really weird because I've spent, I'm in my mid to late 40s, and since I was 15 years old, I've spent my entire life working 80 hours a week in restaurants. There's no such thing as time off in that world when you actually work in it. And now all of a sudden here we were in 2020, I was home at night, I was home on the weekend, sitting on my back, drinking a beer and watching live stream concerts. It was a little uncomfortable for the first day, and then after that I was like, I can just use this. Now here we are kind of backtracking ourselves. So it's weird not having the restaurant. The cool thing is now it gave us a year off to kind of let everything relax, let people kind of maybe forget about us just a little bit and come out of the embers of COVID with something fresh and new. And that's our tap room a unique tap room menu. It's not typical burgers and wings. Nothing against that. I love that personally. I'm drinking here, but we wanted to be able to keep capturing that audience that we had previously with slightly more abstract food. So we're getting back into it now, which is kind of fun. We
had a similar experience. We opened a place in Glenside, Pennsylvania, which is about 25 minutes south of here, and we did Mexican theme. And our first tacos were street tacos, and Glenside was not ready for street tacos. They were not ready for the double. We got so many of the corn shells back because they said they were raw, or didn't understand where there was two. Where's the cheese and all that kind of stuff. And then we did the same thing here. We've always had a restaurant, but with COVID, like you, I'm trying to rethink this industry, and I'm trying to not create an environment where everybody has to work 80 hours a week to make the restaurant work. But we scrapped our entire menu and went from kind of like a Mexican-German fusion because we wanted to be different. And I talked to my kitchen manager, I'm like, what can you prep 2 hours before the shift is ready to go? And just try to rethink stuff. So So yeah, I was reflecting too. I didn't know if you guys were serving food, but I was imagining that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm not running a restaurant now. I'm just brewing beer. It's just
No, unfortunately, it's in our blood. We couldn't get couldn't get out of it. But you raise a great point, Scott. I speaking from, and I'm sure I know there are many other people who've been in this, kind of food and beverage world for a long time. The COVID, I think, has taught us all that we don't need to work 8 hours a week. That there's value to finding a way to kind of condense things and make it make more sense. As we reopen the tap room and got the brewery up and running for, to start bringing our audience back in, we said, we need our staff to always have 2 days off. Like we're not going to be open 7 days a week. We're going to have 2 days where we're not open, where our crew, maybe production's there. We're always working on beers and stuff. But we wanted our staff to not feel like they needed to work 60 or 70 or 80 hours a week, and we didn't want to do that. We had 4 kids, 2 in college and 2 in diapers. And so, 2 in diapers and 2 in college, we worked all through them growing up. We were in the restaurant business, and that's just what we did. They grew up in the restaurant, they grew up around this stuff. And we said, not that we don't want our younger to grow up experiencing and understanding the restaurant experience, but we don't want them to have to be at the restaurant all the time. We want to be able to come home and go to the zoo and do fun things, go on vacations and stuff. So we really, we sat down at the start of this year and said, we're not going to do that anymore. We're gonna condense our hours. We're going to condense our menu. We're going to simplify what we do, find the things that we do best, and really focus in on those. And hopefully we make as much money not being open as 50 hours. And what we found is, instead of being open, with our restaurant, we're open 7 in the morning to midnight most days. Now at the tap room, we open it at 4, we close it at 10 o'clock, and we're seeing just as many customers and seeing just as much revenue because they love what we do, and they make a point to get in there and get it done. That's part of the lesson for our entire industry is that there's a reason that we have a high mortality rate and a high dropout rate in our industry and stuff like that. It really wears on you. We think it's important for people to start understanding, we don't have to do that. As chefs, as brewers, as food service professionals, we need to be able to back out a little bit.
Yeah, we close at 8 o'clock during the week and 9 o'clock on the weekends. Just mostly because people are coming out to eat and hang out and drink and get the COVID kind of shifted people's priorities. They weren't going out late. They're used to being home. They're used to watching TV and doing that kind of stuff. So we're still open 7 days a week, but that's just because I literally have like a Monday, Tuesday crew, and then I have a Wednesday through Sunday crew. That's literally how it's all kind of worked out. They usually there's like one guy that switches between the two of them. So beer wise, how would you describe your approach to beer and what you brew for you guys? What's your
I've always been one of those beers. I've always envied the purists like I have a style, and this is what I do. Spend my entire life honing in on a specific style of beers and making them really good. I've never been that way because I've always been all over the board. I love all beers for the most part. Oyster stouts they're coming around slowly.
I don't like inflections, so I get it.
Yeah. So what we really do is we focus on making beer that we know consumers. And sometimes that means starting simple and getting them attracted to a craft brewery, and then starting to educate them on the things that we do. I'm sitting here just in case the beer that I opened wasn't good because it's from 2017. So I've got one of our flagship cheap ass beers, Light Light. It's a Miller like Coors Light kind of thing. I get chastised at brewery meetings and stuff like that. They're like, oh, I can't believe you're making that still. The fact of the matter is, when you live in a town where 95% of the sales goes through Anheuser-Busch, the only way we're going to attract those people and show them that craft breweries aren't about a specific type of beer, they're about a mentality or a community, is to make the kind of beer that they like. So we started doing that and drawing people in. And the cool thing is, the they have one or two cheap ass beers, 5% light lager, and it loosens them up a little bit. And we're like, hey, why don't you try a sample of our West Coast IPA, which is my personal favorite style. Having been from the West Coast, obviously, Stone and Sierra Nevada brought me into this one. But then we can start introducing. Well, you don't like the West Coast IPAs because they're too hoppy and bitter. Try a milkshake IPA. Maybe you're into the fruity stuff. We just released a blueberry muffin milkshake double IPA. 9.5%. Tastes like a blueberry egg waffle. It's one of the most dangerous beers I think we have because it goes down the week. But once they have a taste, they're like, oh, this can be craft beer too. That's great. So we do that. We are predominantly an IPA forward kind of place. We throw in some Mexican lagers. I have a tendency to stick to more traditional American style Mexican lagers, IPAs, things like that, just because that's really what fits our market. And being as large a brewery as I am, to be able to say, oh, I want to do a double buck or something kind of off the wall like that, the fear on our side is like, all right, are we going to be able to sell that? This beer through distribution, but people are just buying us for lagers and IPAs and things like that. So like I said, we really focus on what the market dictates. We do a lot of culture. I know I'll get beat up, but we do a lot of self-help. It's a great market product. When you have a company that does close to $4 billion, there's a market out there of people that like to drink White Claw. And what we want to do is show them, look, craft breweries can do this stuff too, and we can make it tasty because we can actually put flavor in it, not just like yellow flavor while you're drinking it, make you think that that's the flavor of it. Then we can add, make it feel like a craft product, because it is a craft product. It's very simple. But it draws that market segment. Again, it always goes back to our goal is to introduce people to the community of craft beer. So hopefully as our thing flourish with craft breweries, we've kind of created a market for those other breweries to be able to then find their niche, find their style, and develop what they want.
Yeah, I won't give you any grief about selfish. We make one. I made it because my doctor said you have to reduce your carbohydrate intake. Your blood sugar is way too high, and it's going to be a problem. So we make I'm unapologetic about it. It's a craft seltzer. It's made for me. If someone else buys it, great. But yeah, I was doing the beer tasting. There's guys about 10, 15 years our junior, and they're walking out with two 50-packs of White Claw. They're not buying beer. So it's not just a girl product; it's a lifestyle product. It's a
lifestyle, exactly.
Yeah. So we're all on board with that. So you guys have any big events coming up? Any big beer releases? Anything you want to talk about?
So let's see. Beer releases are next. Well, first of all, next weekend. If anybody happens to be in the Johnstown area and wants to roll around, we do a great event here Memorial Weekend called Tasting Tour of Johnstown, which is really an opportunity for people to come and wander around downtown Johnstown and pick up with all the businesses that are starting to open and flourish. They sell tickets for it. Tickets have been long sold out. I think they had 700 tickets this year. They come back COVID reasons. But we usually experience 2 to 3 times the number of people as the tickets they sell because people just come down and basically trying to work. We will be releasing the Memorial Day Veterans Collaboration beer that we did at Beer House Brewing. We'll be releasing that, and we'll also have the Pulse from Susquehanna Brewing, the CA Pride release, and then. Hopefully, if the beer gods allow me to get it done in time, we have a sour plum IPA that we'll be at least having on draft next week. And I don't know if I'll be able to get it through the canning line yet. We did it last year. It's called Wet Dreams. It's just a wonderful flavor, nice lighter ABV, 5.5–6% range. Kettle soured out, and then finished on plum.
Oh, that's cheating. Kettle sour is cheating, isn't it? Isn't that cheating?
I know, right? Throw some lactic acid in there if you want to.
People always talking about kettle souring is cheating, and like we for years, actually the way we launched with our Berliner Weiss was we just did a no boil. Like, so there's a brewery. I'm friends with them, so I'm not gonna say. But they're all Italian. They did a no boil beer. I'm like, I've been doing no boil beers since Jump Street. Man. We mashed through the fermenter and let it ferment, and it was instead of kettle sour, it was a fermenter sour. Like it's not. I was glad. I just joke and laugh about that kind of stuff. So
our first boil kettle
we're picking up. We just picked up Boxcar Brewing Company, the original. Another box something, but Boxcar Brewing Company's old kettle. We picked it up and we're converting to a 15-barrel steam brew house, and I know their original system, they had like a sidearm system where it went through a heat exchanger and it would try to boil it, and they never got it to boil. It was always like, oh no, we got to 190, that's close enough. So, so what are you drinking today? What you open up with?
I told you I had an emergency beer just in case. I pulled this one out of the back of my beer fridge. I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, so I didn't want it back. This is a 2017 back when New Belgium was actually an independent brewery before they got bought up by the big boys. It's their Lips of Fate series Blackberry Barley Wine. It's been sitting in my fridge for about 5 years now. So I'm a little leery on but I gotta say it's absolutely
Excellent. I'm going to be a bit of a homer. I'm drinking Secret Garden. It's a watermelon IPA. And if you didn't see the previous toast when I talked about it, I found out exactly how many watermelons fit in a Costco shopping cart. There was 20. So 20 watermelons. And the guy that when we first did this, he used to work at Wegmans, and he said he had a kitchen crew of a whole bunch of like older Japanese gentlemen, and they showed him how to basically cut a watermelon in under 30 seconds. So he worked there. He showed me, and so really sharp knife, and just cut a bunch of watermelon. And then we had one guy that sits there with a Cuisinart, like one of those like 3-quart Cuisinarts, and just purees it all and puts it in. It's like, it took really forever. But this is really great talking to you, man. Get a little glass up. Cheers. All right, everybody, go see these guys. Go out to Johnstown. How close are you, by the way, to Donora, Pennsylvania? Donora, Donora. You ever heard of that? Okay, I picked up a dog.
So I'm still learning the terrain here.
That's fine. You're not a Yinzer. You just live there.
Yeah, I'm not. They are Yinzers here, but I'm not a Yinzer. I might be becoming a Yinzer. I've lived here since 1998.
Excellent. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Come out to our block party and go see these guys. Have fun.
All right, it's been a pleasure, Scott.
Absolutely, man.